Don't bring me back. Don't bring me, don't.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be working on the Beretta PX4 Storm. Now this is a very cool build. I gave you guys a little bit of insight, told you that we have some unique projects coming. They're not all Glocks, and this is one of them. Now, so unique, in fact, if you Google the PX4 or any of the other similar Beretta models and you search for CNC services or milling, you come up with nothing. So I was unable to actually get any results that were populated by Google because I guess there aren't any out there. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the first person doing it. I'm sure there's some other people that have done these. Either they're just not familiar with how the internet works and didn't post the work, or they weren't happy with the way the work turned out and they just didn't want to show anyone. So with that being said, the title does say first of its kind, because as of right now, I can't find any other videos. So I'm sure at some point in time you'll probably see some of these pop up, but until then, you just have to make do with my work. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is the intricacy of how this design was built and how it's different than slides that are also on the market that are very similar. So one of the first things that you're going to realize and notice is that we have the CZP10 slide down here. And let's just pick this guy up. Now, if you haven't seen this video, go back and watch the video of this. There's a lot of good information in here, and we're not done with it. We've only done part one. We have part two, which is all the rest of it's going to be more laser work. So definitely spend a little bit of time. Watch this video. At the end of the video, I'll post a link to this build. So if you want to get kind of some more information of how this came about, then we can point you in the right direction. But with that being said, if you look at the CZP10, you're going to notice that the side is flat and then it tapers and then it tapers on the top, right? I'm going to put this down so I can hold this and show this to you a little better, okay? So what that means is it's wider here and more narrow here. And then on the side, which would be right over here, it's more narrow here and then it comes out being wider here, okay? So that's very similar to the way the PX4 is, where it's wider, narrow, and then of course we go narrow, wider, and then it's a reverse down here. But what makes these so much different from each other, not just by brand, is the way that the Beretta is very challenging. And if you look at the way the Beretta was designed, and I'll try to get the camera to focus the best for us here, is that these walls on the bottom, I'm talking about these walls right here, this first flat section, is actually tapered. So it's actually, on the bottom, it actually tapers up, and then it tapers up, and then we have a little roll here, and then we're at the top. So what that means is, okay, so you can kind of see it there, that it's not 100% straight. What that means is if you were to put this in a vise and clamp it this way, you're probably going to have a problem. It's probably going to pop out or wiggle itself loose over time. Because when you clamp the vise down, you're only going to be clamping on this small edge down here. You're not actually going to be touching any of this. Not without some kind of a jig. And I'm not saying that there aren't guys out there that can do these. That's not really where I'm pushing this video. What I'm saying is there's not a whole lot of these on the market, because I think unless there was a shop that was going to be doing a batch of these, it's really not worth them doing one of these, because they would have to make a jig to hold this. So you can put it in there this way, okay, because this is flat and this is flat. You could squeeze it this way, which would allow you to cut on this side, and of course it would allow you to cut on the other side, but as you can tell, it's tapered. So as the cutter comes down, it's not going to be hitting the material in the same spot. So you're going to end up cutting, up here, then you're going to have to keep going farther and farther and farther down until eventually it goes here. So if you're cutting like a square out, you're going to have to cut like down like a ½ an inch. It's going to start here and cut, then it's going to go into the air, then it's going to go down, then it's going to go into the air, then finally it's going to go down until it finally hits the bottom part, and then it finally makes a hole. The problem that you also have is it's tapered, from one end to the other, and it's not square and straight. And I know it's hard to see, guys, I apologize. But what I'm saying is that is probably one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of these done. Not that there's any, issues with the Berettas, but there's certainly a factor in here of a challenge. There's a really high challenge factor of getting this done. I guess that's the best way to say it. And also it uses a different style barrel, which means that there's rails in the inside. So you gotta be careful what you're doing and kind of how you're doing it, or otherwise you're going to cause problems with the functionality of the slide and the firearm in general. So guys, that's the only reason why the P10's here, is because I wanted to show that, they're different. This one is very square, okay? straight, straight. So basically you can squeeze it this way all day long and cut the top without any issues. You can turn it and squeeze it this way all day long as well and cut the side. Now you will run into the same issue because it's tapered down, but you could do some mill work on this flat here. Now you just can't do that with the PX4 because it's not flat. We're not going to be doing any of that. We're going to be skipping all of that. It's too challenging for even myself to want to clamp this in here and even attempt to not have that pop out while I'm cutting something. So we're going to bring you guys right over to the laser. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to do a top port here, and then we're going to be doing a intricate design down through here, which is going to start small and end large. And then we're going to be doing the same thing over here. It's going to start right up in here where the serrations are, and it's going to work its way down to the end, and it's going to start small and make itself larger. Some of them are going to be holes all the way through, so we'll be able to see some barrel. I don't know if this customer is going to polish a barrel, send it out and get it tin coated. I'm just not sure what the deal is with the barrel, but either way, this is going to give them a lot of opportunity to show that barrel off if they choose to show the barrel off. Well, guys, that top came out super nice. So what we have to do now is we still have to do the sides, and at some point in time we'll sandblast this, and that'll give you a little bit more of a true lines. There's a little bit of char around the outside, so it's hard to see a little bit, but it came out really nice. So guys, I guess we're on to the sides now. So let me just take you through one of the sides, and then we'll take a look at it before we start the other one. Alright you guys, this is right straight out of the sandblast cabinet, so it has some dust on it a little bit. But I wanted to show it to you before we start the left side, so we can see right down through the top, real nice. This is where I just taped it up so that way it wouldn't hit the front sight with the sandblaster. So if you're wondering why it has a weird line there, that's why. We'll try to clear that up whenever we do a final review. But what you can see here is we started here, went larger, and then these are actually holes. So I've got my handy little flashlight here, so you can actually see. See if we can do it better this way. So you can actually see kind of up through there. So you can see there's a little bit of sandblasted media up in there, but very cool. You're going to be able to see some barrel. Not a whole lot of barrel, but I think if the barrel is shiny, something like a polished or something like a tin barrel, gold barrel, you'd be able to see that pretty nice down through there. So really cool. So next step is go ahead and start the left side. So let's jump into that, and then let's just see what we come up with. Well, what do you guys think about that? Super nice. We have some nice detail here, and of course we have two holes, and then we have matching holes on the other sides. Now these are exact patterns on both sides, the way they match. So if you look, it's kind of hard to see, but the front of the sight here where the dovetail is right on the notch, and then if we roll, it's kind of hard to see, but you'll see right here to the edge right here. So we are exactly where we need to be. The same thing, if you look, the easiest way to tell is if you look at these two sides here, you can see that we're in the fourth one and we're into the last one. And of course, we're into the fourth one and we're into the last one. So nice, even laser engraving. Now, that's not something you're always going to get with other people. You have to really deal with a person that is really picky about what they do. And guys, I'm one of those people. I'm just super picky about the work that I turn out. If it's not exactly right, then I've got problems with it, and I'm going to make it right before you get it back. So guys, with all that being said, this is one of those difficult ones. We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier into the video about the difficulty level of this project, and just has that real big, hard, challenging factor because everything's tapered. So came out really nice. It was a well thought out design, and it just came out, you know, really aesthetically pleasing over the factory PX4. Now, if you're kind of looking at this or you're jumping in this late here a little bit, and you fast forward or skipped anything and you're wondering why these are two-toned here, I take this off. I went ahead and just kind of wrapped all this stuff up. I don't want to get any of the sandblasting on this stuff. And of course, we did the same thing over here. I don't want to hit any of this with the sandblasting or the front sight. So everything kind of looks a little weird. So what that means is this will end up getting shipped back to the customer. The customer will then end up taking it and either stripping it down themselves or mailing it out. The gunsmith or the gun shop, whoever's doing the work, will end up taking and stripping it down, coloring it, and reassembling all those parts. Now, guys, that's one of the reasons why I tell you guys to send them to me stripped and bare if you can. I understand that not everybody has the tools to take them all apart. I don't have the tools to take them all apart with all the different makes and models that are out there on the market. So if you can strip it down and you can bag those parts before you send it to me, that's a really great idea, because I don't have to lose them. I don't have to reassemble them. And it's just one of those things where I don't have to worry about damaging your firearm, and more than likely when you get it back, you're going to want to do a thorough cleaning on it anyhow before you reassemble those. So guys, strip those down, send them to me bare if you can, and that's kind of just a, you know, a really healthy way of moving forward with a project and not worrying about parts and marking things up and losing little things. Guys, if you enjoy the content and you like the work, subscribe. You know, check out some of my other videos, see if it's something that you're interested in watching. I'm trying to put new stuff out all the time. As far as I know, I'm one of the only people that works on some of the oddball stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people in the country that are doing it, but I just don't happen to find them posting stuff on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, things like that. So I'm one of those guys that gets a lot of weird emails about weird modeled guns and questions. Can we do this and can we do that and things? More than likely, I'll give you an opinion of that, say yes, no, and we'll move forward with a build. Now, what that means is if you, you know, you don't want to spend any money out of pocket and you're looking for something for free, all you got to do is hit the subscribe button, make sure your notifications are turned on, and then of course you get email alerts and you get to watch cool things, and it doesn't cost you anything. So it's one of those free things that's still left here in the world today that you can get and not actually spend any money. So hit the subscribe button. If you're on Instagram, guys, I'm really trying to push my Instagram a lot more. I was going by a different name, which was Unknown Pro 13. You can still Google Unknown Pro if you want to find some of my old work, but the new name has now been switched over to NCEngravers, so it matches YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook is all NCEngravers. Of course, you can get direct links if you go to the web page. On the bottom, you'll see YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook direct links, so you don't have to go hunting and pecking around to find me. But I am trying to get my Instagram count up higher than what it has been in the past. I'm a talker. You guys have probably figured that out. You know, I like to kind of educate you, push you through into these projects, really just kind of show you where I'm coming from on these builds, further your education on where my thinking is, you know what I mean? I'm not just like, hey, we're gonna run it and then we run it. I'm like gonna kind of tell you why we're gonna do what we're gonna do and what's a good idea, what's a bad idea, and things like that. So Instagram really doesn't allow me to, you know, give you that kind of exposure of my what's kind of rolling around in my head. So, but I am trying to get better with it. So I'm trying to post some pictures. I've got a lot of things that I don't turn into full-blown videos, so a picture or two ends up getting posted. So if you guys if you want to stay in contact and updated with what's going on, you can always just kind of check out the Instagram and see what's going on with me. Sometimes in the middle of a project, I'll just post a picture, especially if it's a long project. But guys, hey, subscribe if you can. If you're already subscribed, expect to see good things coming your way, because we have a lot of big projects that are coming up, and always learn as you're doing it. So if you're not learning while you're doing it wrong. That's just kind of my theory along with this, because I'm learning the same way as you guys. This is one that we haven't done before. We've got a lot of projects that are coming down that I haven't seen anybody else do before, and we're gonna push through them, and we're gonna see if we can get what the customer is after, and kind of just make them happen. So guys, thanks for everything that you guys do. If you have any questions, concerns, I'm only email, you know, a phone call or a text away. You can find my number on the web page. You can also find the number on Facebook. So if for some reason I don't answer, please leave me a voicemail. I am pretty busy, but I will definitely get back with you on what's going on.